This is the newly updated 2024 Honda Passport TrailSport. Can it make it up our snow-covered mountain? We're going to find out right now on Driving Sports TV. The Honda Passport is a great two-row family SUV. This TrailSport edition adds extra off-road capability to an already very good package. For 2024, Honda did not give us an all-new Passport. It's very similar to the one that came out 2 years ago. Honda's very similar three-row Pilot was all new last year, and its TrailSport really took things to the next level. Perhaps the most significant update on this vehicle are the tires. New for 2024, the Honda Passport TrailSport now comes with General Grabber AT Sport tires. Yes, these are all-terrains, and they're wrapped around these just absolutely stunning looking 18-inch alloy wheels. Fitment here is a 245/60 R18. Absolutely a more legit setup than the Firestone Destination All Seasons it previously came with. These are also more aggressive than the Continental all-terrains on the new Pilot TrailSport. The General Grabbers are not 3-peak rated, though they do have the standard M+S mud and snow designation. Yes, it would make more sense to do this test with snow tires. However, by the end of the video, we'll have a really good idea at just how capable this is off the lot. This new revision also gets some modification to the accessory skid plates underneath, as well as some nips and tucks inside the cabin. Other than that, not a lot has really changed. Under the hood is the same 3.5-liter V6 engine producing up to 280 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque. The only transmission option is still a 9-speed automatic, and that's connected to all four wheels through Honda's excellent iVTM4 all-wheel drive system. This setup is good for 19 miles to the gallon in the city and 24 on the highway. Price of this test vehicle with optional radiant red paint, $46,330 US, including destination. As I said at the beginning, because this Passport is a mid-cycle refresh, not an all-new model, it doesn't get all the cool hardware that has now appeared on the Pilot TrailSport. That means that this is basically the standard iVTM4 setup, the same version found in all other Passports. The Pilot TrailSport version has a special new rear drive unit with trail control logic, designed specifically for off-roading. Will that matter in the snow? Probably not, but if you plan to do difficult off-road trails, the Pilot will be the more capable option. Also, the new Pilot has a full-size spare. This one just gets a space saver under the floor. That should cover all of the basics. Let's see what this Passport TrailSport is capable of. So here we are, our first test. We're gonna drive the Passport TrailSport up this snow-covered mountain road. And the weather conditions are very important. It is currently about 3-4 inches of snow, little ice underneath, but the temperature is about 32 degrees, so we're kind of right on that borderline, but currently snow is holding, so hopefully we don't get any rain in here before we finish, but it's looking pretty good. Now this is the snow that is perfect for snowballs. Okay, let's do it. Whew, it's a little chilly out there. Although by next week, the temperature is supposed to drop from 32 today all the way down to -2 here. So we definitely have some more cold weather testing to come. But today, it's all about the Pilot TrailSport. How are we gonna do this? Well, first, I'm not gonna do any special settings. I'm just gonna keep it in drive. And I wanna see how well this vehicle handles these conditions. Now, this climb is not very severe yet. It gets steeper as we go. So it kind of escalates. And then if we finish this, if we get all the way to the top, then there's some other challenges that we'll have to deal with. Okay, let's start this up. Now we're going to do smooth and steady to start, just to kind of see how it does and is supposed to react. And like this, it is doing just fine. No drama. We're probably only at about maybe a 10% incline right now though, but it does escalate pretty quickly on this latter part. Now this is a dirt road underneath, so even if we get through all the snow and ice, we're just gonna hit dirt underneath that. There's no actual like extra grip to be had. Okay. Let's see what it looks like to do a full throttle start on this climb, see how this system engages. I'm going to change my display up here to show the all-wheel drive torque diagram. Now this will show how much power is going front to back within the system to really see just how it's shifting that power around in a high stress situation. So let's go ahead and I think we're just going to go ahead and do sand. I do know for a fact that sand is the least amount of traction control interference, so we should get a lot of wheel spin, and let's see if we can get up in this snow with that. Floor it. Now this definitely is showing us just how slippery it is right now, and it's really not bad. This is kind of grippy snow. Woo! That's pretty good. Hey, this next section is actually more difficult, so I'm going to take this one more seriously. So now I'm going to switch things up a little bit. We're putting it into snow mode because this next little leg is a bit of a challenge, and I want to make sure that I can get up and around the corner. So here we go. Now I'm just adding throttle. I see that on the gauge up here it's showing me a lot of power going to the back. Okay, actually most of the power going to the back. That's pretty nice. Flick around the corner. Let's try to get some rotation with throttle. And oh, is it doing it? Hello. What? Okay, that's pretty cool. Even though these tires are not 3-peak snow rated, they're actually doing a really good job. Not only do they have those really chonky lugs, but they also have siping to help grip in snowy conditions. And this is not a particularly icy day, so we actually have some advantage here with the weather. Are we, we're not gonna, oh, come on, we're like 10 feet. I'm just keeping my foot on the throttle. I'm letting the system do the work. Can we get up to the top? Yes, we can. Woo! Okay, so that was actually pretty easy, and the reason was because I maintained a steady throttle, I maintained momentum, and it got us up the run. So you're probably curious, well, what would happen if we tried that same run, but we weren't as smooth and steady? Let's try that. But first we have to go back down. So going down would give us a great opportunity to try out hill descent control. But this vehicle doesn't have it. So I'm just gonna have to keep my foot on the brake, but it's okay. This really isn't that treacherous. I think we'll be fine. Once we get down here, we'll flip it around and then we'll try the aggressive version of the run. Let's turn around. Line it up. Okay, there we go. With the snow freshly fallen when we first attempted it, and in the snow setting, keeping an easy throttle just got me all the way to the top. A little struggle at the end, but it made it. So now I'm going to explore some of the other settings so you can see how different approaches affect driving on snow, like this. We just did snow, so now let's switch to sand, which is the most extreme other version of the traction control system. This one allows for a lot of wheel spin. We tried it down there in more modest of a tilt situation. Now it's a lot more extreme. So let's see what it does. Almost all the power is going to the back, very little the front. Sometimes more power is not the answer, although we are still getting up this. And I think a lot of that has to do with these grabbers have really deep lugs, which is really good. Also, there's very little ice underneath this snow. It's basically just compact snow. I mean, it's a little sketchy, steering is vague, but yeah, we got up it. Okay, let's go find something a little bit harder now, shall we? First off, let's use the upper pass to get to the other side. And then we'll see which trail might be a doable one today. Because right now we're just on the main service roads. And when they're covered in ice and snow, they can be really, really difficult. But today it's been okay. But also a lot of credit to the IVTM all-wheel drive system in this vehicle. It is excellent at shifting power around and not requiring braking, which sometimes can cut too much power. Going to the other side. That's a bit of a drop. don't want to fall off that. I think we'll be fine. Although I am going to switch this back into snow mode. There. Ooh, we got to climb coming out of here. Ooh, how's that going to be? Let's give it a try. Throttle. Oh, yeah, no problem. So I've decided I want to try something crazy. I've never done the Rattler in the snow. The Rattler itself, I don't think it's going to be a huge issue. It's mostly just rock. And we have 8.1 inches of ground clearance here, which should be just fine. Also 18-inch wheels with significant sidewall, again, should be okay. However, that climb getting out of there is really steep. And I think that's going to pose a significant challenge for this Passport. Well, let's give it a try. Again, I would like a front camera, but I do not have one here. It always makes turning in here a little bit easier. Now, if I can't get out of this, we have two options. Either one, I slide off the hill and roll over and tumble all the way to the bottom, or I can back out. There's no room here just to mess around. I'm gonna have to be pretty serious with this. Let's take a quick look at the conditions here. Oh boy, this is thicker. It's not too bad there. But there is some pools of water underneath the snow here. And then over on the rocks here, what kind of condition do we have? Yeah, those are pretty slippery. So I guess we'll just be careful. So I might be asking, what do I have in terms of recovery equipment? I got two neighbors who I hope are home. Now the Rattler here is a shelf road, but it is a little bermed on the outside, so we shouldn't have any issues with like sliding off the side. It's more about maintaining traction going forward over this really uneven surface, because that's gonna really force the all-wheel drive system to shift that power very quickly and keep us sure-footed. Okay, that part, I knew that was not gonna be a problem. This part though, I think if we can maintain enough momentum, we can get up this, but it's gonna be really tricky and it's gonna require a very delicate throttle. So here we find out if the general grabbers on the new 2024 Honda TrailSport, Passport TrailSport, can get us up this climb. Now we've done this climb in rain and mud. It's really hard. Never done it in snow, like actual, several inches of snow. So let's see what we got. I'm gonna put it into snow mode. I'm actually gonna reverse just a little bit to get a little bit more of a run up on this first climb. Here we go. I'm not even Catholic. Let's put it into drive. Get some momentum. We're in snow mode. I'm just gonna keep the throttle in. Keep the throttle in. Can we get up this steep spot right here? If the tail starts to wag towards the cliff, we're starting to wag towards the cliff. Not comfortable with that. Oh, let's just ease back slowly. This is actually kind of where I would like a hill descent control system, because they usually go forward and backwards. This one doesn't exist, so it doesn't do anything. I know what some of you are yelling at the screen right now. Go full throttle! And I'm gonna do that because snow mode didn't work there. I lost grip and we started to slow down. I knew we were gonna stop. So let's go ahead and put it into sand mode. The most wheel spin. It also isn't gonna cut power so much. We're in drive, let's do it. See if we even get going here. Get a little throttle, get a little momentum. And oh yeah, power! Ah! Whoa! Yeah, we did it. Okay, Honda Passport, well done indeed. Even though this vehicle hasn't been updated to the same level as the Pilot, I think the addition of the general grabber tires on this vehicle really gives it a lot more capability than you would expect. Plus, you combine that with the iVTM4 all-wheel drive system with all the different drive modes. Again, not as advanced of drive modes as you get on the Pilot, but this is really good. Just imagine if you take a Pilot and you put even better tires on it, that thing would destroy. So yeah, really happy with the results today. I really thought we were throwing this car a curveball by doing the Rattler, but it just ate it up. For Driving Sports TV, I'm Ryan Douthit. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, share videos. We make them for you. I might be a little terrified sometimes, but I do really enjoy making them.